Hello friends. The forces of our universe are one. One verse, one order. Or rather, they are derived from one source, so are transmutable. They are therefore practically the same whether applied to things terrestrial or things celestial. Our so-called space, the real luminiferous ether between us and the very top. Since we cannot change our reality, let us try and change the eyes that see reality. We can all learn not to do the impossible, but we must learn to live with the possible. Most people know about the solar analemma, the figure of 8 diagram that we can all see and test ourselves in the sky if you photographed or time-lapsed the sun's position at the same time every week for a whole year. This is what you will record. Timed, dated. This makes no sense on a spinning ball theory, okay? Heliocentrism wants us to believe it's created by the Earth's supposed tilt. How does that even make sense, really, in our real world reality? A supposed tilt is its sole cause? Come on people, there is no tilt to this Earth, for crying out loud. How is it wider on the bottom and smaller on the top if it's a globe? Come on people, it makes no sense, does it? Why are they different sizes? If the Earth is supposed to be the same size, and all so-called pictures of this Earth from outer space are of this globe and not an oblated spheroid. So you can't have it both ways. There are so many false truths with this heliocentric religious understanding of the creation, yet the Analemmas are there for all of us to study diurnally and nocturnally, daily and nightly. All points on the AE map are at proportionately correct distances from the centre point, and all points on the AE map are at the correct azimuth, which means direction from the centre point. Now, the powers that be have known this for a very, very, very long time, folks, and this is why it's used on the UN flag for a start. They could have used a globe, they could have used many different other representations of the Earth, but they chose this. And also for land, aviation, marine flags, because it has to be right, doesn't it? We travel on the flat Earth below it. We fly around the flat Earth below it. And we sail around the flat water below it. Because it's a flat world, folks. There can be no denying it. The powers that be, they all know it really, and they show us how they know all day, every day, by putting it in our faces just like this. The Analemma is another major proof that the sun circulates the flat Earth during his yearly seasonal journey. The sun circulates around the Tropic of Cancer in the summer and thus moves to the Tropic of Capricorn in our winter months of the year. They're called tropics because the sun turns back towards its former course and position. Tropic comes from the Greek word trepo or trepo, which means to turn. So it's the sun above us that turns back on itself, not the Earth that spins. And that's the real truth. Or, that's the truth! And thanks for not shouting at me. Brilliant. You see, friends, the sun has always circulated the Earth along a much wider path in our winter months as it's moved farther south. You can see this for yourself in the Analemma. the chart. If you observe it for yourself in nature, you can test it. The Analemma is wider in the lower part of the figure of 8 in the winter. Then the sun circles above the earth closer to our only north monopole in the summer, therefore has a much close-knit circulation, represented by the smaller section of the figure of 8 at the top of the Analemma in the summer. Fantastic. You can see it and you can test it if you want to. The Earth is absolutely without motion, either axial or orbital directions. Both science and scripture, as well as common sense, assert the positive fact of the diurnal revolution of the sun above and the nocturnal revolution of the moon above, as well as the rest of the entire planetary system, the universe, only one, geocentrically speaking, of course. So, easy to understand, easy to teach, and easy to see. And easy to see when shown. So hopefully we are all on the same page so far. Now, little is mentioned about the lunar Analemma, seeming to also follow the same path as she circulates above, luminizing everything in her twilight hours above the earthland below her. Being slightly lower in the ethereal vortexes, but is nearer to the Earth than the Sun. Her motion is actually slower, contrary to the heliocentric religion, of course, slower about an hour later each day in rising, that is. It's why we see it sometimes with the Sun here in the UK. Very lucky. Having the double spiral orbit, same as the Sun, applying to the daily revolution around above the Earth, as well as her passage across the equator due to the alteration of declination from north to south during the nighttime hours. Again, folks, all can be tested and all has been empirically. The circulating currents of the ether are the cause of the planetary motions, quintessence, or the fifth element, if you will, including the motions of the sun and moon. But the planets, the wandering stars, having different sizes, different densities, occupy various positions and elevations in the electromagnetic currents that are above us. So as these currents in various parts have different rates of motion, like the different currents of a swing, a merry-go-round, a seesaw, a train, or even a snake, the various heavenly bodies, our luminaries, are carried daily round the earth in different times, some in less and some in others more than 24 hours. So, for instance, the sun takes 24 hours to circle from a given meridian to the same again. And this gives it a speed near the equator of around 1,040 miles an hour. The moon, however, takes nearly 25 hours to complete her daily revolution around us and thus return again to the same meridian, giving her a speed of around 1,000 miles an hour when near the equator. The rate will obviously vary with the declinations, thus when the spiral is less, the rate will be somewhat less, and is the case with all the luminaries and of course the sun. The moon is the slowest of all the heavenly bodies, much to the dismay of the opposition, of course. But we see it, and they know it really. They have figured it out a long time ago. It's just another heliocentric to try and fool you into believing their outer space, outer filled world alien propaganda mind control. The Analemmas only work because the Earth is flat, the precession of the equinoxes. The truth is out there, up there, and obviously right here, folks. And yeah, I do believe it's coming back, the X-Files as well, which is fantastic. So, the outstretched heaven above appears the dome to everyone on earth, wherever you roam. You see a dome a vault above each station, as many domes as points of observation. Of these apparent domes there is no dearth, each person beholds the same above the earth. 2 analemmas for all to test and repeat, one cannot deny this flat earth treat. My zenith's highest point, just where I stand, forms the horizon to a distant land. And while those far off west on sunset feast, my noon is someone's sunset in the east. Take care. You know the score. Much love to everyone's path in 2024. Yahweh and Yeshua bless you all in the name of the Lord.